Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before I say anything else, just let me know you can hear me and you can see me. Type in the chat box if you can hear me well and just say hello or just tell me that you can hear me. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is now 7 p.m. in Brasilia. Dun, 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 dun. No, 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 no. It's not that radio show. No, that stupid radio show. This is Leonardo Leite one more time for VIP English Club by Mauro Vergara. Once again, welcome, my friend. Welcome in a different time today. Yes, in the evening. It is a pleasure to be here with you live. And if you are watching the replay, if you have been here, if you got here a little bit late, no problem. If you're watching this on a Friday or on a Saturday or on a Sunday, welcome anyway. You're going to be enjoying a great English lesson here with me. All right? How you doing? Okay, good. All right, I'm excited today. We were supposed to have a class yesterday, but we couldn't because there was no connection here in my house, in my apartment. And you know what? Just out of curiosity, the service came back on like 5 minutes before, no, about half an hour before we were supposed to start the class yesterday. But anyway, lots of people love having the class at 7 p.m. I know that everybody can hear me. Hello, Ana Alckmin. How are you, Ana? Ana Alckmin, our beautiful moderator. If you have any problems here during this class, just say, help me, Ana. All right? Okay. Eliane says, I confess, I pretty much prefer this time. Yeah, well, you know what? Me too, if I were a student. Yes, I think it, you know what? We're gonna have more, we're gonna have classes at 7 p.m. more frequently. All right, I promise you. I like this time too. All right, yeah, everybody likes that, right? Okay, good. Well, last week we had the second part. We had the second part of a day out in the park, right? Do you remember? Do you remember the story? Now, it is very, very important that you remember at least the magic story 16 and 17, because it's, they are part 1 and 2 of a day out in the park. So if you're watching this class for the first time, maybe you're going to feel a little bit lost, because this is the third part of the third and last part of a series of 3 magic stories called A Day Out in the Park. And so if you're watching this for the first time, it is very important that you go back and watch magic story 16 and 17. This is magic story 18, I believe, and the third part of A Day Out in the Park. In the previous lesson, I noticed that lots of people had a hard time following the lesson, had a hard time really learning the stuff I was... Gilberto, I'll be lost. No, come on, man. If you are used to people talking in English to you, you're going to enjoy this anyway, all right? Because we're going to recap very, very quickly the story. You will not be lost, I promise you, all right? Anyway, in the previous lesson, some people had a hard time learning and practicing the stuff I showed. And why? Because it is difficult. It is difficult. Okay? Why is it difficult? Because we don't practice it. We have to practice it. And we have to practice over and over and over and over and over again. All right? So let me show you what people had a hard time with last week. Let me show you this. I think it's right here. Okay. Okay. This is what people were having a hard time learning. All right. We got the situation here. Jeremy bought the tickets online, so they were able to get in the festival. And then I asked you to make up a sentence with if. Okay? A conditional sentence, right? But this conditional, if blah blah blah, if blah blah blah, if blah blah blah, is always in this point here. It's always in the past. They're all in the past. So when we talk about conditionals that are related to the past, and we can't change the situation. We can only think, oh, if, but we would never really understand and know the conclusion or the result of that condition. We can only suppose. Well, that is the problem, because we are talking about something that it's a hypothesis. It's hypothetical in the past, right? So Jeremy bought the tickets, so they were able to get in the festival. Well, if Jeremy hadn't bought the tickets online, which he did, but if he hadn't bought the tickets online, they wouldn't have been able to get in the festival. That is what you need to practice. That's what you need to practice. And to practice this is not that hard, because it's very easy to remember the situations. Well, Jeremy bought the tickets online, and because of that, because he bought the tickets online, they were able to get in the festival. So, what can we conclude? That if he hadn't bought the tickets online, they wouldn't have been able to get in the festival. Right? Now, I want you to imagine, okay? I want you to imagine. Let me put it here. I want you to imagine this. Okay? Imagine. I called the doctor. Okay? I called the doctor. And because I called the doctor, and because of that, I could save my friend, for example. Okay? So imagine the situation. I was with my friend, and my friend got sick very seriously, and then I called the doctor, and the doctor came immediately and saved my friend. Okay? So now you start thinking, well, what if I hadn't called the doctor? What could have happened? What could have happened to my friend? So if I hadn't called the doctor, maybe, I don't know, my friend would have died. So what you need to practice is the structure. If I had, would have, blah, blah, blah. Hadn't, would have, blah, blah, blah. That's what you need to pay attention. So here it is. If I hadn't called the doctor, my friend could have died. Or, or, my friend wouldn't have survived. Okay? My friend wouldn't have survived. So, what I'm calling your attention right now, so that you can go back and do it again. Do not forget the previous lesson. All right? Do not forget the previous lesson. Take it, do it, download it, and do it again. Listen to the audio. Think about the circumstances, the situation. I would do something like this. I would come here. I would come here and erase everything. Erase all the sentences. All the sentence like this. So I would read, well, Jeremy bought the tickets online, so they were able to get in the festival. Well, if Jeremy hadn't bought the tickets online, they wouldn't have been able to get in the festival. Amanda didn't study hard for the exam, so she didn't pass. So she didn't pass. So because she didn't study hard, she didn't pass. Well, if she had studied harder, if she had studied for the test, she would have passed. This structure is what you need to train, to practice all the time, so your brain can get used to this structure. Is it clear? Is it clear now? I just wanted to call your attention for that. And I'm going to just show you the previous story here, right? Okay, this is the second part. Okay, this is last week's part. Jeremy and Becky got to Seattle Center. Well, before we do that, hold on. Before I read that, let's try. Okay, let's try to remember from the beginning, and I'm going to ask you some questions so you can remember the story. Okay, here you go. Here it is. Okay, so do you remember the beginning, the beginning of the story? You remember? Remember? Well, let me help you. It was a Sunday, okay? And what was the weather like? It was a great day. It was a beautiful day. Okay. Did Jeremy wake up early or late? Jeremy woke up early, right? And what did he do right after he woke up? He called Becky, right? And what did Jeremy invite Becky to do? To go to the park, right? And which park did he invite her to go? To Seattle Center, to the music festival, right? There's a music festival going on there. And did Becky accept the invitation? Yes or no? Yes, she did. And what time did they decide to go? What time did they decide to go to the park? Tell me. 10:30? Yes. 10:30. All right. So now you can see the second part. Let me see if this is the second part. No, that's not the second part. There it is. Okay, So they decided to go to the park at 10:30. So Jeremy and Becky got to Seattle Center at 11 a.m. It was sunny and warm, a perfect day to get out. They had a hard time, remember? They had a hard time finding a parking spot. Finally, they found a parking lot 3 blocks from the center. The place was packed because of the art festival. Before they got there, Jeremy had already bought 2 tickets online. And they were very lucky because the tickets for that Sunday were sold out. And Becky said, "Hey, Jer, you were very smart by buying the tickets online. If you hadn't bought them, we wouldn't have been able to get in." And Jeremy said, "Yeah, I always try to get this kind of tickets online. It's fast and it's safe." Seattle Music Festival is a great event. Artists from all over the world come to perform all kinds of gigs. Becky and Jeremy ran to the main stage to watch the first concert in the morning, but they made a stop on the way to the stage. Why did they stop? Some people try to guess, right? Why they stopped. And right now, you are going to find out why they stopped, right? So I'm going to tell you the story, then I'm going to show the story to you, okay? Here it is. Are you ready? Here we go. As Becky and Jeremy were running to catch a good spot to watch the concert, something weird, something very strange happened. They had to stop. Somebody grabbed Becky by the arm and said, "Becky, is it really you?" She suddenly stopped. She suddenly stopped running and made Jeremy stop too. She looked over, and who did she see? "Alan?" she said. "Alan? What are you doing here?" she asked. "Well, I'm in town for a business conference this week. I flew in yesterday and here I am enjoying the festival." And Becky said, "Wow, I haven't seen you in so long. How have you been?" "I've been great, quite busy actually. What about you? How you doing?" And she said, "Great. Well, I'm sorry. This is Jeremy Pauk, a good friend of mine." And Alan said, "Nice to meet you, Jeremy." And Jeremy said, "You too." Well, and then Becky said, "Well, it's good to see you again, Alan, but we're going to go to the concert now." And Alan said, "I am really glad to see you. Can we get together sometime this week to catch up?" And Becky said, "Sure, give me a call." And Alan said, "Same number?" And Becky said, "Yeah, gotta go. Catch you later." So let's talk a little bit about Alan. Alan was born in Tampa, Florida. He moved to Seattle with his parents about 20 years ago. Becky and Alan used to go to the same high school. They used to hang out a lot until he got a job as a production assistant at an entertainment company in California and moved to Los Angeles. They haven't been in touch ever since. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Okay, one more time. Now you can read the text with me. Okay? A Day Out in the Park, Part 3. As Becky and Jeremy were running to catch a good spot to watch the concert, something weird happened. They had to stop. Somebody grabbed Becky by the arm and said, "Becky, is it really you?" She suddenly stopped running and made Jeremy stop too. She looked over, and who did she see? Alan? What are you doing here? Well, I'm in town for a business conference this week. I flew in yesterday, and here I am enjoying the festival. And Becky said, wow, I haven't seen you in so long. How have you been? And Alan said, I've been great. Quite busy, actually. What about you? How you doing? Well, great, Becky said. Well, I'm sorry. This is Jeremy Pauk, a good friend of mine. And Alan said, oh, nice to meet you. And Jeremy said, you too. And Becky said, well, it's good to see you again, Alan. We're going to go to the concert now. And Alan said, I am really glad to see you too. Can we get together sometime this week to catch up? And Becky said, sure, give me a call. And Alan said, same number? And Becky, yeah, well, I gotta go. Catch you later. Let's talk about Alan. Alan was born in Tampa, Florida, but he moved to Seattle with his parents about 20 years ago. Becky and Alan used to go to the same high school. They used to hang out a lot until he got a job as a production assistant in an entertainment company in California and moved to Los Angeles. They haven't been in touch ever since. All right. So what do you think about this story? This part 3. Now, do you understand why they stopped? Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? Okay, is everybody with me here right now? Just type, yeah, I got the story. I got it. I got you. Just type in so I can see that you guys are following me here. Okay? So just say, yeah, I got it. Like Reinaldo Xavier said, hi, Eloisa. Just type something in the chat box so that that I know that you're following me. All right? Let's see. Okay. Okay, good. So you're all following me, right? Because I have the feeling I lost you. I have the feeling I lost you. I need you guys to type in, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Ah, thank God. Okay, good. So it's probably the delay. Okay, there's a little bit of delay. Okay, great. Okay, great. Good. Thank God. So now let's take a look at the vocabulary, okay? As Becky and Jeremy were running to catch a good spot to watch the concert, something weird happened. Now, in this sentence here, 2 things I want to talk to you about, okay? Catch a good spot. Catch a good spot to watch the concert is the same as find a good spot to park. Find a spot to park, okay? So, to catch a good spot is to find a good place to watch the concert, to see the concert, right? And something weird happened. That means strange, something strange, very odd, very unusual, weird. All right, that's weird. Something weird happened. So weird means very strange. And in the second sentence, the third sentence here, I just want to show you, somebody grabbed Becky by the arm. Now, look at me down here in this small screen. To grab by the arm, okay? So this is Becky's arm. Somebody grabbed her by the arm. So to grab is pretty much catch, right? To hold to something, right? So somebody grabbed Becky by the arm and said, Becky, is it really you? Now, let me pause a little bit here and explain to you how you are going to train with this story. You've got to pay attention to two things. To the phrases that I'm showing you here, okay? You got to pay attention to the different phrases that I use, how they can replace other phrases that you used to use, and you can apply these sentences to your own reality. I don't know if I was very clear right now to you, but what you've got to pay attention to is phrases and my intonation. Becky, is it really you? Is it really you? That is a very simple and easy phrase, but we don't use it. We Brazilians don't use this kind of phrase. Do you know why? Because we forget that it is very common to talk about other people. All right? We always imagine that it is for things, right? And never for people. Things and animals, right? But that's not true. So it's just when we don't want to use any subject, we use it. So is it really you? É você mesmo? É você mesmo? Is it you? Is it really you? Right? So practice this intonation too, right? Anyway, she suddenly, unexpectedly, very quickly stopped running and forced Jeremy to stop too. So she made Jeremy stop too, right? She looked over. This is important. Okay? To look over. This is to look over. Okay? That's it. Look over. Now, to look over my shoulder. Okay? So to look over is just to turn your head and look. All right? So she looked over. Pay attention to pronunciation, okay? She looked over, not she looked. She looked over and question. Who did she see? And then comes the question, right? Alan, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Very simple, right? And now comes one more sentence that's not very common for us. Well, I'm in town for a business conference this week. I'm in town means I'm in the city. I'm in Seattle. I'm here, but I'm not from here. Okay? So normally, when the person who's not from São Paulo, for example, and this person is in São Paulo, this person usually says, well, I'm in town on business. I'm in town for the holidays. I'm in town to visit my family. But that means the person is not from that place. Okay? You can say, for example, John is in town, Alan's in town, right? Bob Dylan is in town for a concert. Anyway, you got it, right? So, well, I'm in town for a business conference this week. And another one here. Flew in yesterday, and here I am enjoying the festival. Flew in means I came in by plane yesterday. So I arrived here by plane. Flew is the past of fly, right? So I flew in. Why am I drawing your attention to this because we Brazilians do not normally use these phrases. Okay? I'm in town on business. I'm in town for a business conference this week, and I flew in yesterday. These are typical English and American phrases. We Brazilians never remember to say that way. Okay? So it's good for you to practice. And Becky said, wow, I haven't seen you in so long. I haven't seen you in so long means it has been a long time since the last time I saw you. All right? That's it. It all summarizes to, I haven't seen you in so long. Okay? I haven't seen you in so long. I haven't seen you in so long. Right? How have you been? How have you been? How have you been is the same as how are you? How are you doing? How have you been? But it's one more way to ask how the person is, how the person is doing, how the person's been. Okay? So how have you been is very, very common. Okay? Wow, I haven't seen you in so long. How have you been? And he answers, I've been great. Because she asked, how have you been? Right? And he says, I've been great. Quite busy, actually. Quite busy means very busy. Okay? Busy means working a lot, doing lots of things. Right? So quite busy actually means, to tell you the truth, I've been very busy. All right? Quite busy actually. All right. What about you? How you doing? So in this story here, you have, how have you been? How you doing? Right? And then she says, well, great. Well, I'm sorry. This is Jeremy Pauk, a good friend of mine. Jeremy Pauk is Jeremy, our Jeremy. All right? A good friend of mine. Just want to call your attention to a good friend of mine means my very good friend. Okay? We never remember to say a good friend of mine. Okay? But it's more common to say a good friend of mine. And then Alan says, nice to meet you. And it's very common when somebody comes to you and say, nice to meet you. All you got to do is say, you too. You too. Okay? And let me explain you too a little bit more. You can use you too for all kinds of phrases. If the person says, well, have a great day, you can say, have a great day, you too, or you can just say, you too. Have a wonderful evening, you too. Enjoy the party, you too. It's nice to meet you, you too. It's been a pleasure making your acquaintance, you too. All right? So you can use you too for many phrases. Okay? So nice to meet you. Well, you too. Okay? And Becky said, well, it's good to see you again, Alan. We're going to go to the concert now. Nothing to explain here. Very simple. Okay? Just one thing. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you is a very, very common phrase. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Okay? And then he says, I am really glad to see you too. So, good to see you, glad to see you, happy to see you. Okay? Great to see you. They're all the same phrase. Now, here comes a very interesting phrase. Can we get together sometime this week? Can we get together? Get together means what? Meet. I come here, and we come here, and we stay together. Not romantically or anything. Get together is to meet for lunch, for dinner, for a party, for celebration. All right? For anything, you can get together. So can we get together sometime this week? Now, use this phrase. You can use this phrase all the time. Okay? Hey, man, can we get together tomorrow so we can talk about the meeting? Right? It's a very common phrase. Can we get together sometime this week? Can we get together tomorrow? Can we get together sometime next month? Can we get together next week? Right? Next, to catch up. To catch up means to talk about all the things that you missed during all this time. So very simple. Becky and Alan haven't seen each other for a long time. A lot has happened since they saw each other for the last time. Right? So lots of things happen. To catch up is to talk about all the things that happened and they didn't know about each other. This is to catch up. All right? There is a what's the phrase in Portuguese for that? Colocar o papo em dia, right? Catch up. Yeah. And Becky says, "Sure, give me a call. Give me a call, call me." And Alan asked a question, a very suspicious question. Same number? Same number? What do you understand here? That he already had her number. He's just asking her if it's the same number. So they were close, right? But Jeremy doesn't know anything about that. Anyway, we're going to get there. And Becky said, yeah, well, I got to go. Gotta go is I have to go. Okay? Well, guys, got to go. I got to go. All right? I'll catch you later. I'll see you later. Okay? Catch you later and see you later, the same thing. Okay? Yeah, got to go. Catch you later. Catch you later. Got to go. Right? Well, and here is just a bio information about Alan, right? Alan was born in Tampa, Florida. So he's from Tampa, Florida. But he moved to Seattle with his parents about 20 years ago, right? Well, Becky and Alan, they went to the same high school. They used to go to the same class. And they used to hang out a lot. Hang out means be together, do stuff together. Okay? You hang out with, I normally hang out with my best friends. I have like 4 best friends and I hang out with them. To hang out is to go, do, stay home, be together, do anything together with the other person. That is hang out. Okay? So Becky and Alan used to hang out. We don't know if they're just friends, if they were boyfriend and girlfriend. We don't know that. But they used to hang out a lot until the moment he got a job. He got a job as production assistant at an entertainment company. Entertainment company is the same as Sony, Universal Studios, Paramount Pictures, all those companies that you see in the beginning of the movies. All right, they produce movies, documentaries, TV shows, entertainment. All right, and moved to Los Angeles. So we know that Alan is right living in Los Angeles nowadays, and they haven't been in touch ever since. This is the last phrase of this story. Okay, they haven't been in touch. To be in touch means to be in contact. To be in contact. All right? So they haven't been in touch ever since. All right? Good. Now, we've got the vocabulary here. Don't worry. All right? I'm going to write down the vocabulary here for you. But for now, I want to ask you if you have any questions about this vocabulary that I just showed you. Let me show you the text here once again. Okay? So do you have any questions on the vocabulary? Vocabulary is very simple, right? Very easy. What you need to understand is the phrases that we do not normally use as Portuguese speakers. All right? So if you have any questions, type them down. All right? Now, as you already know the story, I am going to read the story to you, and now you won't read it. Okay? As Becky and Jeremy were running to catch a good spot to watch the concert, something weird happened. They had to stop. Somebody grabbed Becky by the arm and said, "Becky, is it really you?" She suddenly stopped running and made Jeremy stop too. And she looked over, and who did she see? "Alan? What are you doing here?" she asked. "Well, I'm in town for a business conference this week. I flew in yesterday, and here I am, enjoying the festival." And Becky said, "Wow, I haven't seen you in so long. How have you been?" And Alan said, "I've been great, quite busy actually. What about you? How you doing?" And Becky said, "Great. Well, I'm sorry. This is Jeremy Powell, a good friend of mine. Nice to meet you." "Ah, you too." "Well, Alan, it's good to see you again, but we're going to go to the concert now." And Alan said, "I am really glad to see you too. Can we get together sometime this week to catch up?" And Becky said, "Sure, give me a call." And Alan said, "Same number?" And Becky said, Yeah. I gotta go. Catch you later. Bye." Alan was born in Tampa, okay? And he moved to Seattle with his parents about 20 years ago. Becky and Alan used to go to the same high school, and they used to hang out a lot until he got a job as a production assistant at an entertainment company in California and moved to LA. They haven't been in touch ever since. They haven't seen each other ever since. Okay, good. So now here, let me show you the vocabulary. Opa. Ok. Valdenise said, o seu áudio está com retorno. That problem is in your computer, okay? So Valdenise Valdenise says it went back, but you can refresh the page and the audio is going to be great, okay? Does the story go on to know what Alan was for Becky? Well, You have to stay on VIP English Club to find out, my friend. All right? Good. Excuse me. Here, you've got the vocabulary, right? You've got the vocabulary for this lesson. All right? You can download this and you're going to see all the sentences with the explanation for each one, right? And down below here, there are some questions. I'm going to ask those questions to you right now. All right? So here it is. The first question I want to ask you, right, is about Alan. Do you remember Alan? Good. Who is Alan? Who is Alan? Let me get this out of here. Okay. Who is Alan? If you don't know, just say, well, I don't really know. But where is Alan from? Tampa, Florida. He's from Tampa, Florida. Where does Alan live? Does Alan live in Seattle or in LA? Right, in LA. And what does Alan do? He is a production assistant at an entertainment company in Los Angeles. So we know a little bit about Alan now, right? Good. So now you are going to retell me the story by answering my questions. All right? Are you ready? Good. Okay. Who stopped Becky on the way to the concert? Becky and Jeremy. Who stopped Becky? Alan. Pay attention. That's it. Alan. You don't have to say Alan stopped Becky and Jeremy. No, Alan did. That's it. Alan stopped Becky. Right? And what did Becky say when she saw Alan? Alan? What are you doing here? Very good. What are you doing here? Okay, what are you doing here? And question to you. Why is Alan in Seattle? Why is Alan in Seattle? Business conference. That's it. He's in Seattle for a business conference. That's it. When did Alan arrive in Seattle? Yesterday. Very good. Did he arrive yesterday or this morning? He arrived yesterday. All right. He arrived yesterday. Good. Well, how long has it been since Alan and Becky talked and saw each other? A long time. So what did Becky say? Wow, I haven't seen you in so long, right? Haven't seen you in so long. Very good. Very good. Well, my question to you now, I don't know if you know the answer, but how does Becky feel about Jeremy, about Alan showing up at the festival? What do you think she feels about that? Well, you can tell me that she feels embarrassed. You start thinking about adjectives. Embarrassed, angry, unhappy, happy, excited. How does she feel? You tell me. Do you think she feels excited, unhappy, uncomfortable, comfortable, right? Okay. And let me show you here. Oh, okay. And what about Alan? What about Alan? What did Alan ask to Becky? What did he ask Becky? Get together. Very good. Get together this week. So, can we get together this week? Can we get together sometime this week? Why? To catch up. To catch up. All right. And she says, okay, sure, gotta go, right? And I'll see you later. Now, let me show you the last part of this lesson now. Okay, let me see here. Exciting, weird. Yeah, it's a weird, maybe it's a weird feeling. Glad to see him. Fernanda Xavier says he was happy. He was happy to see her. Yeah, well, Alan, that was obvious that he was very happy to see her, right? Because he invited her to get together sometime this week. My question to you now is, how does Jeremy feel? Do you think that Jeremy feels anything? Do you think that Jeremy is going to react to this weird situation? What do you think? What is happening between Jeremy, Becky, and Alan now? What kind of weird situation is going on? Fernando Xavier says uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Very good. Very good. Displaced for Jeremy, probably, right? So, did you have the feeling that Becky and Alan have something going on, and Jeremy is just, as Reinaldo says, displaced? Jealous, Adélia, very good, jealous. Guys, that's it. You have to get into the story so you can practice, all right? So that you can practice. Remember that this is listening comprehension and conversational class, which is really hard when we are online over the internet, have a conversational class. Well, you have to have a conversation with me. You have to be talking to me. Okay? You gotta be talking to me. Okay, good. So now, to wrap up, I'm gonna ask you more questions, and you tell me. Now, you have to answer the question so that you can practice your speaking. All right? Here it is. Oh, it's all there. It's all there. Okay. Question. What were Becky and Jeremy doing when something weird happened? What were they doing? What were they doing? They were running to catch the concert, right? They were running to catch the concert. Very good. And what was the weird thing? Okay, what was the weird thing that happened when they were running to the concert? Somebody grabbed Becky by the arm. All right. Who was it? Alan. All right. Alan grabbed, that's it. Alan grabbed Becky by the arm. All right. What did Becky say? Alan, what are you doing here? And what was the purpose of his trip? No, just kidding. Why was Alan in town? To work for a business conference, right? When did he fly in? When did Alan fly into Seattle? Yesterday. All right. Are Becky and Alan friends? Yes, they are. How long haven't they seen each other? They haven't seen each other for a long time. Right? Okay. What does Alan invite Becky to do? To get together. All right, to get together. Does Alan have Becky's phone number? Yes, he does. Is Becky comfortable? Is Becky uncomfortable? All right, guys. Good. Good. So here, I've got the questions here for you. Down below here, I'm going to write the questions here and send it to you. All right? And send it to you. Let me get out of here. And now we're going to do a very interesting exercise so you can tell me the story. I am going to give you just, excuse me, just a word or a phrase, and you start telling me the story. Okay? All right? For example, here we go. Catch the concert. And then you say, Becky and Jeremy were running to catch the concert. Okay? Something weird. And then you come to me and say, well, as they were running, something weird happened. Right? Grabbed. And then you say, well, somebody grabbed Becky by the arm and said, Becky, is it really you? Okay? Good. So we're going to start right now. Are you ready? With me here. Watch the concert. Had to stop. Grabbed. Is it really you? Looked over. What are you doing here? Business conference. Flew in. Haven't seen you. Busy. This is Jeremy. Nice to meet you. To the concert now. Glad to see you. Get together. Call. Gotta go. All right? Did it work? Did it work? Okay, the exercise, this exercise, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back in the audio, you download the files, you go back in the audio. As you listen to these words and phrases, you make a sentence regarding to the sentence, the story, okay? So that you can remember the story by just saying just remembering those words. I saw that some people here said, Jeremy, Becky, Alan. No, that's not what you have to do. What you got to do is say it. Say the story. Tell the story. All right? Yes, it is difficult. You see, Fernanda Xavier says, it's too fast. We can't write all the phrases here. It's not for you to write. It's for you to say it. I don't want you to write down the phrases. I want you to say it. Okay? This is the practice. This is the practice. So when I come to you and say, catch a good spot. If I put the text here, it's going to be easier. Okay? If I put the text here, it's going to be easier. Okay? If I come to you and say, for example, running. What does running make you remember? I remember that they were running to catch a concert in the festival. Weird. Weird. Something weird happened. And then you say the sentence. Okay? Do not write down. Say it. Okay? Oh, Fernanda. Fernanda's your first day. Oh, my goodness. All right. Guys, that's it. This is training. This is practice. Okay? This is practice. The most difficult thing for you to do is to practice speaking with me here on the screen. That is the hardest thing to do because you have to look at me. You have to look at me. Let me get out of here. You have to look at me and say it. Okay? So, for now, we're going to do something a little easier. All right? A little easier. And then you go back in the audio and do it again. All right? Here we go. Becky and Jeremy, they were running to catch a good place to see the concert. Something very strange, something weird happened. Somebody grabbed Becky by the arm, and she stopped. Pause. Make short sentences so that you can remember the story and retell the story. All right? Becky said, Alan, what are you doing here? Alan said, I'm in town to work. Came yesterday. Enjoying the concert. Becky said, wow, I haven't seen you in so long. How have you been? And Alan said, great. Very busy, actually. What about you? How you doing? Becky said, great. Well, this is my friend, Jeremy. Nice to meet you. You too. Well, Becky said, I gotta go to the concert. Let's talk later. It was good to see you. And Alan said, I'm very glad to see you. Can we get together this week so we can talk, catch up? Yes, give me a call. Same number? Yes. I'll see you later. Bye. Very simple. All right, guys. Very, very simple. My friends, that's it. Time's up here. I hope you have enjoyed this class. If you have any more questions, you can type it in here. I'll be glad to answer. All right. I'll be posting this video and the exercises and the text and the story on the portal very soon. All right. If you don't have any questions, I'll see you next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and bye now.